Check. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found our previous sessions engaging and informative. And here we are on to the third session of today. This panel is going to discuss the point from home to holiday and everyday wellness in travel experiences. Travel is not just no longer a reaching destination. It is about rejuvenating our mind, body, and soul along all the way. Today, we explore how wellness can be seamlessly integrated into every journey, making every trip a revitalizing experience. Here, we have with us a panel of distinguished experts on this topic. On this panel, the first speaker, we have a media and health evangelist for over 2 decades and advised senior Indian leadership on preventive health and wellness. We welcome founder of Vedic Diet Protocol and scientific mentor at Ranford Wellness, Dr. Shika Nehru Sharma on dais with a round of applause. Joining us on the dais as a second panel speaker, we have a person who leads innovative research integrating siddha medicine with modern oncology, serving as head in charge of Department of Physiology and coordinator Siddha Integrated Cancer Care Center at National Institute of Siddha, Dr. B.R. Sendilkumar onto the dais with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Our next panelist has championed Ayurveda's global expansion over 13 years and has established wellness centers and spas in various parts of the world. Please join me in welcoming Executive Director at Kerala Ayurveda Group, Thiru Abhishek Ramesh, onto the dais with a round of applause. And finally, to lead the dialogue of this panel, an avid traveler who has traveled to more than 5 continents, Vice President Continent Community Partnerships at Monday, an award-winning travel blogger, writer, and so much more. Let's put our hands together and welcome Thiru Lakshmi Sarath onto the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hand over the dais to the moderator for this session. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much for that. It's an honor to be part of this panel and to be in a group with such eminent panelists today. And we are going to talk about this topic, which is from home to holiday, everyday wellness in travel experiences. We see this more as a shift from the way we perceive wellness, where wellness was looked at more as, spa treatments and massages and indulgence. And today we are looking at it being a shift where we are moving into everyday experiences. We're talking about digital detoxes. We're talking about travelers looking for longer stays, travelers who are looking at, balanced diets. We're looking at healthy living. So I just wanted to start off with Dr. Shika today. What is that one shift, Doctor, would you say that you have seen in the way wellness experiences are being perceived? And what do you think, in your opinion, travelers are opting for?
I think the first thing which I have seen, so by training I'm a medical doctor and into the space of wellness through nutrition, food as medicine. So when the major shift which I have seen is that people used to perceive health as something that if you're not in a hospital, that means you're healthy. But today what I've seen is that people want health, not just absence of disease, that is, they're not in the hospital, but health being, I would say, a super version of themselves. So let's look at actors. Look at the way they're building their bodies and they're showing their bodies. Why? Because they say, we want to be the best physically. You talk about sports people, you talk about data hacking, if you are tracking your sleep, your steps. So what is really happening? Biological hacking is happening. You are tracking your sleep, your step, your performance. So we have seen that now people want wellness in their everyday life. And particularly women are choosing wellness holidays because otherwise women would go for a holiday and come back sick because the food was not really the kind of food they wanted. The beverages were not really the kind of beverages which would make them healthy. So what people want is that if I'm going out and I want to enjoy, I'm spending money, I'm looking at a destination, can I also be healthy and can I come back radiant, glowing, healthy, happy, not sick? So I think that's a big shift and I welcome that shift because wellness does not need to be just being out of the hospital. It has to be something which makes you the best version of yourself, the more optimal version of yourself.
Yeah, well said. I think energy, the glowing, trying to be the best version of us. I think that's the buzzword. Mr. Abhishek, Ramesh, I would like to know when we talk about everyday wellness in travel, what's the one thing you believe that travel experiences must make to support authenticity?
Thank you for that question, first of all, and it's great to be on this panel discussing this subject. For authenticity, I think we need to have hyper-localization on the product depending on the geography that we are at. So, just to give you an example, in today's generation, we see they're so anxious, they're always nervous, their attention disorder is so low, right? It's 30 seconds is the maximum attention that they can keep. But this culture is deep rooted in spirituality, in cuisine, in how they, family bonding. These are things that can be adopted or points can be taken from that for everyday wellness, right? In the travel experience. So to further go on to that example, say in South India, mostly everybody cleans their house. They'll make a column in front of their house, right? That is such a spiritual experience, right? If you get today's generation to do that, I think part of their depression, their belongingness will go away. I'm not asking put cow dung in front of everybody's house, that's also part of the process. You have to pick and choose. But in our facility, right, we don't have toothbrush and toothpaste, okay? So it is understood if you go to a retreat or a hotel, they will provide you a toothbrush and a toothpaste. But in Ayurveda, we have this powder called Dashnakanti Churnam, and it is 10 times better than any toothpaste you can get in the market.
Wow.
We just need to be vocal about it that this is better, Back in the day, they took out salt from our toothpaste, now they put salt back in our toothpaste, then they're finding something else. Our culture, our experiences, we have everything over here. We just have to vocalize it. And Tamil Nadu is so diverse, right? We have to figure out what will attract the Westerners, okay? Or other parts of India, not just Westerners. I shouldn't say that. We should not just target them, right, as a audience, but anybody who's health seeking. We have today's government overall promoting Indianness. They spoke about millets,
Right.
and it was a boom, right? The millet export consumption just took off. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to have ragi dosa. So it's not like a foreign subject to us. We just have to hyper localize it and present it to the client or the wellness seeker or the traveler and see what bites for them, right? And not dilute it. Now, like there is dilution also happening, but that's a different subject matter. But I think this would be the best way to promote wellness in different geographies in India, Tamil Nadu, and different parts of the world.
So well said. You're saying that, blending in mindfulness, ancient practices, traditions, and bringing it, in a new form and trying to make it, part of our daily lives. I think that's a great way actually to make it more authentic. And since you brought in Tamil Nadu, this is for you, Dr. Senthil Kumar. Tamil Nadu has in fact had a long tradition of wellness. It's been woven into daily life. And literally here we don't feel like we are curating wellness. We actually live it virtually every day, from food to rituals to healing practices. So how do you see this translating into meaningful travel experiences for a traveler?
Thank you, Lakshmi. That's a very nice question you are thrown in. As you said, Siddha is interwoven with the Tamil culture and the Tamil families as well. It's also a part of course, it's well practiced all over the South India as well, actually. If you look into that, whatever the practice we are having, all this can be directly translated in the travel where you are going, basically. For example, in Siddha principle, we say that நீர் சுருக்கி மோர் பெருக்கி நெய்யுருக்கி உண்பார்த்தியம் பேர் உரைக்க போமே நோய். That's what they are saying it.
Wow.
That means very simple. When you are traveling, when you are going somewhere, if you don't get a good water, okay, just boil it and take. That's a new suriki. That's a very simple thing that you can take it over to the travel as well. Similarly, if you are going somewhere, if you are affected with a cough or cold or something, it is my mom used to practice the same. That she just boil a milk, add a pinch of turmeric powder, and then pepper, whatever the pepper can be just powder can be added and take. You can get overcome. But whatever, that's a common thing we want to come because of different type of waters and all we share and drinks you take. You take of course ice cream and all. So it's a common thing you will encounter it that actually. Not only that, similarly there is in a Tirukkural, it is a part of our third tradition, which suggests about 10 stanzas about the medicine. So, unave marund, that's our concept, right, basically. So, there is, when they are saying that, arundiyadu, அற்றது போற்றி உனி மருந்தன வேண்டாவாம் யாக்கைக்கு. That's the question. Okay, if you know that how much you have to take, okay, then you stop it, it's fine. Then accordingly you can manage your gastrointestinal health basically. But if it is more, that there is a suggestion. For example, if it is because when we go outside, we are fond of food, right? So we know there is no any control over there. It is a common that you can affect with a kind of a gastritis or kind of a fullness of stomach, sometimes heartburn. So this is easily can overcome. But the practice, we do it at home. For example, simply put a few pinch of omam, that's ajwan, into the water and boil it and take it. It is just available everywhere basically. Similarly, cumin can be added in your thing. You can add it and you can take it over that forward actually. So whatever we are practicing, so we say the unave marand, that's what the concept, right? So whatever we are seeing in the kitchen, what's using that all this whatever, so that can be carried over wherever you go. You can practice it very well. That's what I'll tell you that. So for example, if it is a very heavy cough or something, just put some kind of pepper in the water and just boil it and take it. You can just overcome the whatever it is. You don't need to look for pharmacy or something. It is very much available everywhere. Whatever I'm telling it actually. So all this can be easily overcome with that.
Yeah, it sounds like straight out of my grandmother's remedies.
Exactly.
But it is very true because I don't travel without elaichis and cumin even when I go out of the country because I always need my elaichis, and if I'm coughing away before I don't go and buy lozenges, I go and take panagalkandu for example. So I think these are little things but they stay with you from
Always.
childhood and they come back. So I think very beautifully said, Doctor. I really would love to learn a little more about that. So coming back to you, Mr. Abhishek, Ramesh, Kerala has always been synonymous now with, Ayurveda. But Tamil Nadu has been also having, we are discussing deep healing traditions. And these traditions, like I said, have become part of our living heritage, our childhood memory, our narratives growing up, whether it is, like you said, mindfulness, kolam to do mindfulness, or whether it is taking, local spices. So how do you see Tamil Nadu emerging as a destination for wellness? And also, how do we ensure that it is still rooted in lived culture and doesn't become another packaged commercial experience?
So Tamil Nadu has a lot to offer, and of course, we had multiple discussions showing what all we have over here, right? So we have the beaches, we have the mountains, we have lands, we have spirituality. I mean, there's and more that is to be offered in Tamil Nadu. Wellness was never maybe the core focus, or siddha or ayurveda and yoga related sciences may have not been the core focus. So in comparison to the neighboring state, maybe they are like a few years behind, right? Or we could say a decade behind, right? But I think with the current shift of of the idea of the government, it could pick up extremely well, especially because of the biodiversity that Tamil Nadu has to offer, right? So Nilgiris, I heard Dr. Pooja talking about that there's land parcels available in Nilgiris, Yerkad, close to the beaches, close to wildlife sanctuaries. So integrating wellness in these kind of destinations where biodiversity is available will definitely boost tourism for wellness in Tamil Nadu. And apart from that, I mean, in wellness or when people are coming for treatment, especially in Ayurveda, I'm sure in Siddhas also it's quite similar. We are always trying to detox the gut, right? Because we say ama, which is the undigested food, is in your gut, and we're going through all these processes to take the toxins out of the gut. One good thing about Tamil Nadu is that the cuisine over here is just exemplary, right? And each district has got such variety and what you say, such nutritious food. Once you start introducing that to the world, apart from the standard which is already there in every, Sarvana Bhavan or one of those Arya kind of outlets, we start introducing that to the world, I think it will just explode. So it's just at a nascent stage because it never got the attention. But now with the current attention, I think it'll do really well.
Yeah. Food is the mantra, right? And
Always.
yeah, and that brings me to another interesting way of using food. And so some of the travel experiences, since you brought in that we can make it authentic, and Dr. Shekhar, you were aware that in Delhi, for example, people do mushroom picking, and Mahabaleshwar they do like strawberry picking. I mean, maybe it's interesting if you do like a foraging into these biodiversity hotspots and look for experiences where we pick up herbs, where we pick up native herbs, for instance, endemic herbs, for instance, and look at experiences around them. Your thoughts or your perspectives on this?
Yeah, absolutely. See, if you really see, I founded a concept based on Ayurveda called the Vedic way of eating, the Vedic nutrition way of eating. Now, why did I start talking about Vedic way of eating? Was because as an allopathy doctor, what I realized is when a patient goes out of the hospital, we give them a bag of medication which are chemicals. Today, in your homes or in our homes, we have a lot of chemical perfumes, scents, and room fresheners. The things we apply on our skin are chemicals. The food which we are eating, it's full of pesticides, and on top of that, we are processing. And every package, what you eat, processed food, has maybe 4 or 5 natural foods and about 30 chemical ingredients, which is artificial color, artificial preservatives. So what I realized as a doctor is that if cancer is rising, it is very clearly linked to the amount of chemical load our body has to handle. So where does Vedas come in? If you really see in Vedic way, aromas are used for treatment because the nasal passage is a very good interface for treating your mind. So a lot of aromas are given for treating your mind, for relaxation. Similarly, like Mr. Abhishek has mentioned, that all these fancy toothpastes are chemicals. The oil pulling which is done in Vedas, that you have coconut oil and you have salt and you do oil pulling, it pulls out literally the bacteria, and you can reverse a lot of diseases of the mouth. You don't have to use more chemicals to the lot of mouth fresheners. I mean, I'm so glad you're having Sof. A lot of mouth fresheners which are available on the counter are pure chemicals. They really ruin your gut biome. So, and another thing is that when we talk about wellness tourism, and this is a request to all the hoteliers who might be attending, is we should serve Vedic food. And I'm not saying vegetarian because a lot of people get confused between vegetarian and Vedic. Vedic has non-vegetarian food and a lot of non-vegetarian food. What I'm talking about is if we are making banana shake, it's against Ayurvedic principles. It creates a lot of toxins. If you're making strawberry shake and strawberry ice cream, and it is against the principles of eating. If we are heating honey and making pancakes, it will create poisonous things inside our bodies. So we are sitting in the land of Ayurveda. Why not make Ayurvedic based wellness food, which not only nourishes your body, is delicious to taste, and actually is unique. So we don't have to copy the West. We have a beautiful knowledge system which we have to promote.
Absolutely. You just made my mouth water. I mean, I forgot that I just had lunch. I want to go back and eat now. The Vedic food, I'm looking at like nice yellow potato sapad with a lot of, delicious food, which is going to take me back to my, detox my me. But talking about detoxes, Mr. Abhishek, we've also now entering the world where it is all about, I think, digital detox. It's not just the gut, because nowadays people, even for a morning walk, everybody wants their mobiles with them. I mean, I'm also having my questions on the mobile. So though I made those paper notes, but still, So I think this addiction to mobile, and now, people are saying that they want to take away experiences where we are not looking at, phones, we are not looking at electronics, we are not looking at keeping any wired, any wires, any batteries, anything around us. Because one is, of course, you're digitizing your gut, but wellness is also about the mind. And for the mind, you need to switch off. So, so from that context, would love to hear your thoughts on how you curate wellness experiences for, today's young travelers, professionals, which helps them with mindfulness, which helps them to switch off. Because it's very difficult to switch off today.
First of all, you can't avoid a screen. There is no way that, forget today's generation, even my father's generation can spend a day without avoiding a screen, right? So we have to understand the world that we are living in. We have to accept it. It was always in Ayurveda said that anything in moderation is fine. Anything in excess is what is creating the issues that we are talking about, which also leads to other mental issues, right? Including anxiety, we see that in a lot of kids. So, the main thing that we would have to do is figure out what is the right balance between screen time and how we can promote it within our facilities or in our lifestyle, right? So at one of our facilities, we have not banned TVs and like mobile phone usage or limited internet data usage, because anybody who's coming there may be working, maybe high profile, maybe a manager at and has a job or is doing something, right? So they need to be connected with their office, their life, their family and things like that, even if they're going through a serious ailment reversal at one of our facilities. We, as professionals, we advise them. We hope that they follow the doctor's advice, and that is always the case, right? We hope that they follow the doctor's advice. So some things are thrust upon them, right? Because like Dr. Shikha also said, medication, there'll be a bag of medication, right? So Ayurveda also has a bag of medication, but it's healthy. They don't end up taking it. So we thrust it upon them. My nurse will be at your doorstep at 6 a.m. ensuring that you have the kashayam, have the aristam, have the necessary medication, so that the doctor gets the necessary outcome that they're looking for while the treatment is happening, right? Other parts that needs to be done is that ensure that what we are teaching them is something that they can adopt in their life. So if we are teaching them pranayam, if we are teaching them meditation, every day we are giving them a snippet which they can utilize into their day-to-day life. If that happens, then only will the shift happen with the younger generation and anybody who is seeking Ayurveda. So younger generation, they what I've seen is to market to them, we need to give them in 30 seconds, do this, this will happen, right? And as long as we are able to present parts of our Ayurveda treatment in a packaged form, unfortunately we will have to package it. We have to package in that 30 seconds, do this, this will happen. They will adopt it. they will take it to the next level. This is my suggestion.
So bite-sized wellness
100%.
experiences.
30 seconds attention
30
span.
second, yeah. So we are going to look at wellness experiences packaged as capsules with less chemicals and toxins in them. So, Dr. Senthil Kumar, we are talking about siddha medicine, and and how we've said that how it is deeply woven into Tamil Nadu's culture. So, how can this bite-sized experiences be woven into siddha? How can we create these, interesting short snippets, capsules? Maybe we could use storytelling. Maybe we could use, ancient practices, healing practices. What are the kind of, experiences you think we could do to package siddha differently and yet, keep it very relevant to today's travelers? So, for example, we were saying how I think it's a, yeah. So we're saying how Ayurveda is packaged in, with short by, experiences for the younger generation, so that they are able to take the experience it, because otherwise their attention span doesn't last. So siddha being, one of the ancient traditional forms, I was saying how can we package it for today's modern travelers in these form of, bite-sized experiences or something offbeat, maybe storytelling, maybe, like we discussed different ways of doing it. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a very nice case. So you want to take them forward, actually, that the younger generation, the siddha medicine basically. So it is always the part of their culture. For example, Kalari, right? That is one of the ancient sports of Tamil. It is the most ancient sports of the world, basically. So it is interwoven with that, actually, with our Tamil culture. Then eventually that is turned into therapy called Varma, basically. So the Varma is, according to the Tamil medicine, or Siddha medicine, they say that there is a kind of energy that's pass over all over the body. And actually, we call it a saram, basically. This kind of energies that circulated and located in the kind of some points, we call the vital points, so they are called Varma points, basically. So it's very interesting that giving a kind of a small stimulus for some point of time, it certainly relieves their tension as well as stress and all this they can overcome. Also, now the Varma is very much applied in the many of the musculoskeletal disorders as well as the pain relieving management and all they can give it. So that kind of practice can be given as a package. Those are coming as a travelers. So like your Panchakarma. So similarly, we can think about the Varma therapy for the wellness of the people as well. Apart from that, there is one more technique like the practice that's called Tokkanam. Tokkanam is a kind of physical manipulation therapy that is involved in Siddha medicine. So which gives application of oil and massaging and all. So when the person coming for traveling somewhere, when I hope certainly the travel's enjoyable, but along with that they get the fitness as well. It will be great actually. So we can give them as a package that the Tokkanam can be introduced. It's a kind of physical mode of therapy. So which is improves the circulation of your body as well as it increases your skin tone and also energizes, revitalizes your musculoskeletal system basically. So it also detoxifying in nature. So that kind of packages can be introduced with wherever the travel you are entertaining it. Apart from that, we have like a pranayama. It's called we call it as a yogic breathing basically. So that kind of practices can be introduced to them basically. So this kind of practices will the yogic breathing, actually there are several studies has been done scientifically. They have proven that it increases it is downregulate the antioxidant that is antioxidant markers that get enhanced by doing the pranayama practice actually. Simply we breathe out basically. But in pranayama, there's a siddha pranayama, we call it a Tirumula siddha. He has mentioned about that. He's saying that just to hold the breath, just elevate your chest and putting down your chest. That's what the inhalation and exhalation, right? But when you do this pranayama practice, so that will be as one thing we can enhance your system as well. So that's also helpful to elevate many of the cardiovascular things and their capability of the enduring for any sports. So that will be more applicable actually as well. So this is one thing I want. So one more thing I want to add, if you have time actually. So another thing is Unave Mardars, I told you, right? So in case of Siddha, we have millets. Millets is, as he said, as she said, that is a ragi dosa everybody take. But in case of Siddha, we suggest many of the like a sirdhaniyang, there's like a functional foods, millets basically. It is very much practiced here. Actually, all are shown to be have an overlook of what are the nowadays youngsters getting into the diabetes and cardiovascular disease and cardiac attack and all this. So this kind of like a pearl millet and fox millet, all this can be added in the food as a regular. So this can be given as a package. So all the outlets wherever you have, you can have a Siddha functional foods in your outlets. So that will add a value to them. They have a new kind of food that can be tasted by the youngsters as well, basically.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Very,
that's
very
something.
nice.
Yeah.
I think after the food, now I want some wellness experiences. I think this session is not complete if starting with the moderator and the panelists, we all go through some experiences ourselves. So we are close to ending the session. So I just want some closing statements. So I just have one question, and when you travel today, I mean, we are all talking about for travelers what we can do. But as travelers, when you travel today, what small mindful wellness practices help you feel grounded and not feel rushed? We could start with you, Dr. Shikha.
So I'll tell you, since the past 10, 15 years, I have stopped the kind of travel which I used to do earlier in terms of just looking at a location and, eating general food or whatever. Now I do wellness travel only. So every year I pick up a resort, which is a wellness resort, and go and spend 10 days, 7 to 10 days over there. It makes me really refreshed when I come back, and also makes me healthy. That is number one. Otherwise, what I also do is I carry herbal infusions like the sachets, and I have them during my stay. I've also started becoming very conscious that if there is any food which has chemicals, I don't touch it. And I try to see whatever is local and fresh. And of course, if the hotel has a Ayurvedic spa, I definitely try to utilize those services. But what I'm trying to say is the big shift which has come into my mindset now in the last 10, 15 years is I have started valuing my body. Now, I don't mistreat my body. I value it as a gift of God and try to look after it the way one would look after a car or a house or jewelry. So I look after my body like that.
Well said. Beautiful. I think I've seen the shift myself, if I can say that, I used to travel a lot and I still travel. And now I believe in being a much more slow and a mindful traveler. Like I can just stand and do nothing. And I think do nothing holidays are what I would love to do. What about you? What would you suggest?
Yes, he said actually, instead of carrying an infusion, you can just take whatever in the kitchen, make it in a beautiful box and take it with you. That's enough for you to make a mindful travel. You can overcome whatever you undergo during the travel as well, actually. That is the easy.
So, Ramesh, your views?
So just to close it, I mean, wellness is there in our everyday life. We have to see what we are able to do. I'm total opposite of what Dr. Shikha has said, because when I go out, I take 3 flights a week. So when I go out, I eat everything that is bad, including gulab jamun. I had semia paisam for lunch as appetizer. Because in my general life, I do panchkarma every year for 14 days, so that really helps. But jokes apart, on a daily routine, what I try to do is sleep on time and get up on time. This consistently has made me have more energy in the day. I do 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar, and I've seen that it calms me down, it gets me focused, and I have my list ready. Okay, what needs to be done today? And I see a lot of youngsters there. I'm telling you, you don't need to do hours of yoga. Just do 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar and observe that 20 minutes that you're giving to your body, how it is changing your body. And if you continue to do that, you will start enjoying and start taking care of your body. And then when you want to do sinful things, you can also do it in moderation. In moderation is key.
Suggest that wherever you go, just go for a walking 20 minutes. So you just go roam around and see the people as well come back. That itself a great walking. It gets a lot of healthiness to you.
Yeah, the Japanese concept of forest bathing. So, a great session. So, my takeaway has been from this session is celebrate your body, respect your body, do it in moderation, do it bite size, go for a walk, have some, your circadian rhythm in place, have something which kind of grounds you every day. Whether you're traveling, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, I think wellness is there every day in our life. I think the only point that we're trying to say is we have to look beyond the spa, we have to look beyond the massages. But that said, I think I need a massage right now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the audience for the panelists before we end the session? Any questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, you all mentioned about wellness. Yes, well, you also mentioned that do nothing in my holiday will be the wellness. But you all missed out one information is be within nature. You go for a holiday, be within nature and be within the nature. That relieves you everything. For example, you walk through, you find a frog. It does something. Give an attention to that. What it does, how it does, what is going on. You will observe that your stress, what you are gone through, will go in a minute. This is just a suggestions which when you are doing a wellness, this is package practices comes to your mind, will relieve you greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's a great insight. And I think Dr. Senthil Kumar did mention that walking in nature really helps. But I completely agree with you. I'm a bird watcher. I can just stand in front of a bush and do nothing and watch the birds, and everybody thinks I'm mad. But I only understand how beautiful that experience is. So thank you so much. Anyone else? Because I think we're running out of time. We can take one more question, or if anyone.
Do we have any more questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, hello. I'm Vigneshwari. I've been very health conscious like always, and I always prefer to follow Ayurvedic or siddha practices. But then, like at a point of time when we travel a lot, and I don't know, people prefer allopathy over Ayurveda or siddha because of the fast results and the intense recovery, I guess. So while in terms of traveling somewhere, we get a like severe flu or something, and we need some fast recovery at that point of time, or we are attending a meeting somewhere. So how to balance that in that point of time?
Yeah, that is, yes, you can manage. You don't need to think of something like that, because in Siddha, we say that Aushadhi, that is a Viradam Suluang actually, it is they call it as. Leave it as Langanam Parama Aushatam, that's the word they are using actually. So just leave, don't take anything for a while. So that itself gear up your gastrointestinal system as well. Similarly, I told you about the buttermilk, right? So you can just have a diluted buttermilk, you can overcome whatever the complaint you are talking about. Similarly, having a kind of a lemon juice with ginger added with that, so that will be, it relieves your cramps, stomach cramps immediately actually. That's a kind of relief you can get it even from our own practices. Unfortunately, we don't practice it. We don't know that actually. That's why we're looking for some pharmacy to overcome this. Okay. So it is a possible actually. It is highly possible you can do it. Yeah. Simple home remedies we should learn actually. We forgot totally. That's what the things happen. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. So we end the session here. We'd like to thank the panelists for their insights and some beautiful learnings for me as well to take home as a traveler, and also to kind of, that the first thing I would remember is to go have that little Vedic lunch that I'm going to have tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
We once again thank the entire panel for their insights. We shall now proceed with the felicitation. May I now request Ms. Lakshmi Sharath to kindly felicitate Dr. Shika Nehru Sharma on the dais. With a round of applause from the audience, please. May I now request our moderator Lakshmi Sarath ma'am to kindly felicitate Dr. Senthil Kumar on the dais. May I have a round of applause for the panelist team. I once again request our moderator to kindly felicitate Mr. Abhishek Ramesh on the dais. I now request our entire team of panelists to kindly felicitate our moderator, Ms. Lakshmi Sarath ma'am, on the dais, please. Thank you, delegates, and thank you, team. We'll now have a very short break. We'll commence the very next session very soon. Kindly stay relaxed and sit back on your respective seats. Thank you. Thank you.